We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
But
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Ambazonians. You are welcome to another edition, a new edition, a new program on this our very one and only ABC Amber Television. I am Rachael Tima, and I am pleased to be one of you today to start something, another program that is going to be very, very, very much of a modern edition in this our movement. I'm very pleased to be here again today. It's been a while. This program is simply going to be titled An Appointment on Community Building with Rachael T. Fellow viewers, I want to greet you all, fellow Ambazonians of Ambazonia in Cameroon. I want to greet all of you, those in the Americas, those in Europe, those on the continent of Africa, those in South Africa, those in Australia, everyone, every man and woman listening to me at this particular hour. As you can see on your screen, what we have today is an appointment on community building with Rachael. I'm pleased to be here, wonderfully blessed to have you watch me, to be here for you, and for me to be here for myself as well, as far as our Amazonia movement is concerned. It is our absolute right, our birthright, to stand up to what is called our rights. Many things have been given to us, many things have been written and said about us, but it is time, it is far gone, it has even overdue for us not to stand and say and do what and how it is expected of us. I'm just so pleased to be here again, as I say it, coming up with this appointment on community building. First of all, I'm just going to say, what is community building? Community is you, community is me. It is you and it is me. And you and I will make a community. And you and I are supposed to have a purpose. We're supposed to have a reason why we come together. What is our primordial factor that you and I have agreed to come together? What is the pulling criteria? What is at stake? What is to be cooked? What is to be served? And what is to be dished out? These are the things that we will be doing on ABC TV on this program. We will be standing with the slogan, "Who are we? Where are we? And what should we be doing?" We will spend the rest of our time as God will bless us, as God will give us the time and energy to be on this platform to talk to the people internationally, nationally, worldwide, back down to our villages, back down to our LGAs, to our counties, and everywhere in the world. We will be taking this appointment so we could build everyone, letting ourselves know what is expected of us and what we are supposed to dish out there. That will be who we are, where we are, and what we should be doing. It is not a one man's thing, it's not two people's thing, it is a communal thing, it is a community thing, it is a continual thing, it is continuity. You know, when you start boiling rice, you do not put off the fire or the heat in the middle of the cooking. You put it off only when you know it is ready and ready to be served. By so doing, we will continue in our community. You know, there is this common saying that no one has the power to have chosen where they were born, how they should have been born, how they should live. But you know what? What the power you and I are having now is to determine how we want to live our lives. We choose the priorities, we set the goals, we set the pace. It's not something that you just get up one morning without knowing your background, your foundation, and you say, this is how I want to live it. No. You get up. When you grow up as a child, you grow up as an infant, you grow up, there are things happening around you that you might just be ignorant, you might just be childish, you might just be so confused not to know how to go about it. But at the same time, when you are of age, you will be able to distinguish your left from your right. You will be able to say, okay, this is how it should be. You'll be able to do comparisons. You'll be able to say, this is how I should go, this is not how I should go. My mommy and my papa them, I dey greet una all for home front. I dey greet una all for refugee camp. Greet una all inside prisons. I greet una all wey una don comot leave houses and villages the way they don scatter am, they don burn am all. I dey salute una for side wey una dey. Any side wey una dey, look your brother and your sister wey you and him comot for one place. If you see say he talk that pidgin wey you understand am, you go know say na your brother that, you go know say you and him get to start tie bundle. I no dey here for this talk na for myself. I dey here for talk am because I know say e concern you and e concern me. Any side wey we dey for dis world, if you know say you be Ambazonian, whether na wetin wey be push you from the side wey you wey from your village wey you be dey, or from the town wey you be dey, for place wey you pikin dey stay, e push you sotey you can't reach for place wey you dey today, make you know say some reason dey. Because if you look am as dey talk, some people the way they be born with them, the people dem no even dey again sef. Some dey even die before this war wey na Republican cause we so this war. Some people dey even die before that war. God keep you sotey the war come meet up you. You see how wey dem dey fight for liberation, for recognition, for how we restore our statehood. God keep you sotey you can't hear the real history for our country, because some people the way they don even die go dem, dem no be ever know say we be dey, so we no be ever be people dem for be part of La Republique du Cameroon. So for this opportunity, we go see am say na a blessing for say I know my true life before I wan finally go me. I'll get opportunity for contribute, for leave a good homeland for the people dem wey dey behind me. Na an advantage. The thing wey I dey talk for here na say none of we no get power for choose the side wey dem be born we. None of we, if you be ask plenty pipu dem be for tell you say I be for like am say make dem born me for America. So one dem go talk say I be like am say make dem born me for Western country, for Europe. So one dem go talk say I be like am make dem born me for Australia. You see, any man go dey call im own kind places. Why? Because you know say you don already hear history say dat place dem fine. When you go there, dem go give you identity, you go get house, you go dey work, dem go dey pay you. No be something wey you go siddon over the years, you no go see pay, you no go see nothing. But the one thing wey if dat pipu dem for dat place dey tell you their own history, how dem too dem be don suffer sotey before dem wan come be for dis place wey we dey call am say I fall bush, I dey fall bush, I dey go Mbenge, I dey go dis place. If you know the story, the history, how the pipu dem too dem be put their foot for down, dey talk say stranger no fit come take over our land, stranger no fit come occupy our country, den we just siddon so dey look empty make dem kill we finish. Dat pipu dem be fight. So abeg my mama and my papa dem, my brother, my big sister dem, small sister dem, big brother dem, small brother dem, my pikin dem, any side wey una dey, we know say e hard, but we dey beg una say make una try hard. So for dis program, as we go continue, as God go bless us, dey give we the time, make we dey come every time for here for come talk about how we go fit build our community. We go dey bring everything wey e entails, anything wey we need am. We go dey share the information as e dey come. We go dey share the information as wey e go need say make e strengthen you, strengthen us, or give us hope. Touch every corner as e dey come, so dat make some person no talk say I no be hear time wey dem be talk dat one o, I no be talk dat time wey dem be decide dat one. Make I no go plenty, I wan just salute una. I wan salute una for dis day one for dis our program. I wan salute all the communities of our fighters, because dat one na a whole community of its own. Before you wan say you be soldier man, dem born you in dat community of fighters. You go dey get your own fair share of information as e go dey come to you, how your brothers and your sisters dem dey support you as you need help for dat community wey you dey inside. We wan still salute another vulnerable group of our pipu, wey na our women, with our orphans, our small pikin dem, the one wey dem don abandon dem, our widows dem. All dat one, we go dey still dey give information how for na their own community, dat na the place dat wey dem don find themselves inside. Wetin dem go need, we go dey share am. How we go dey bring dem up, we go dey share dat community. We still get the community of prisoners, pipu dem, whether na prisoners of war or na one wey dem be betray you, dem just catch you go put you inside there. We will still be bringing all dat information for our pipu dem, make dem know say our pipu, you know, dis different group of pipu, so dat when you see your brother wey you and him dey inside Nkondenge, you and him dey inside Bamenda prison, inside Bafoussam prison, Douala prison, Buea prison, Kongsamba prison, dat way una know say una get to come together. And as time go dey go on, as una fair share for something go dey come up, na so we go dey dish am out. We go dey inform even the international community through pictures, through letters, how matter dey function inside there. Another group of community are those our IDPs wey they have gone to other pipu land. You know, I hear some funny people say if there was really war, if there was really genocide in Southern Cameroon and Amazonia, people dey go for the person wey dey claim say dem dey persecute am. Who you want say make the people dem go? If you don comot place wey e be na your place wey dem born you, na place wey you be dey live your normal life, dey do your business, dey go your school, dey do your activities there. Because of any upheavals, because of any war, because of any disaster, because of anything, you run to another place. Within you don become an IDP. Plenty people dey don comot for villages, from the hinterlands, because they don go burn their villages dem. They don run come for city. Dat one dem na IDPs. we not fit forget them. That is another community. And United Nations recognize all this group of people because these are social victims. Now, social victims, victims of war, and then their situations have suddenly metamorphosed to a social situations where they get identified international appellation. So, and as a matter of fact, they have become a community. Because if you look in most international settings, you will see camps set up for refugees, camps set up for internally displaced person. You see all these things, those are communities, and the activities that are going on there, they are just as we will need so many food social workers to go on doing visitations and consultations with these people. And this is how we will be bringing the appointments that they have, just as the title of this program is indicating. There will be an appointment on this community building, something which is going to be really consultative and participatory. And then at the same time, in this program, this introductory phase for today, I just want to let us know that know also why we even have this TV, why we even what is even going on, what has really started. Because some people say, I don't know where you people came from, I don't know what you people are talking about. Some might feel, some go boldly to say, oh, we don't want a government. There is no government. Ladies and gentlemen, let nobody deceive you. Not at all. Let nobody deceive you. Every nation that has every nation has its own territorial integrity. Every nation has its territorial boundaries at independence. You, Ambazonian Southern Cameroons, as it is known in the United Nations Charter, you are a people, you are a community, you are a nation, you have an identity, you have a territorial landmark. That is your community. That is where you belong. There is no way sometimes when we hear that community, people who think that, oh, it's only our village that is a community. No, we are an Ambazonian community. You have Nigeria, they have their community. Ghanaians, they have their community, the South African community. Before you will say at large, they will say the African community. So you see how the thing boils down. And in this Ambazonian community that we have worked so far, coming up, since the upheavals or since the days of our first president, President Bob Gomjoa, that was an independent community of the Ambazonian people, the people of Southern Cameroons. And geographically, I will not go back to that simple knowledge to begin to tell us where it is, but it is bordered in the east by La République de Cameroon. It is bordered on the west by Nigeria. So that is where we find ourselves. That is your community. That's where you belong. And from the origin, we were never any northwest and southwest. We were what? The people of Southern Cameroons. It is along the line we will be breaking it down, you know, reminding ourselves, not as if we don't know. We know all these things, but you have to remind yourself. You see, when people of this age, they say, oh, in those days in the 60s, in those days in the 70s, in those days in the 80s. So we also have to sit down to say, in those days, this is how we were, and this is whom we are today. And we have to remind ourselves we should not live under the shadow or under the bridge of somebody else. So this is just what I I I would like us to remember. And so far we have come to the point where in 2016 we all know the story when they started this Nyama Nyama thing with us. Some people will say it started like trade union something, because most people do not know the historical background. That's why our Reverend Commando is there giving us our Ambazonian history. If you listen to him each time, you will get the historical background. Though from time to time, we will be coming in and talking some of those things so that we will know from where we are coming from. But that program, you will listen every bit of it, how far we have also come. So the point is, from 2016, when they decided on the consortium, move from the consortium, they said, let's go to SCACUV, they went to Kaskakuf, they went to governing council. You see, when you hear some people talk about it today, they don't know that people grow. The only thing that is constant is change. We move higher to higher grounds. You cannot demote yourself by yourself. You move. Now we are at the interim government. This is where we are. It has been a community that has grown with awareness, with responsibility until now that we say we are is government at interim, while we are working for the completion of going full scale at home, having under control all what belongs to us socially, materially, morally, binding us by the laws of Amazonia. So come to think of it, this is a community that the Amazonian people will be building for themselves. If it goes to many things that I will just go, just like every other country, every other government, we have also in this our Amazonian community the three pillars of government. We have the judiciary, which is working out there very hard to put things in line, to remind us of the laws of the land, to remind us how we will balance the civil society, how we will balance the government, how we will equally balance with the executive, which is another pillar, and the legislatives, so that nobody will sit in another place to say, I do not feel these three pillars of the government in my life. You will not see anywhere that they will take a civilian and go and be judging in a military court, because the judiciary system will just there be working for you. And we still have some important commissions within this our structure, which is the ethics commission, you know, and then we have this free press, this free and responsible press. You see us here, this is our free and responsible press that we have here on this our Amazonia TV, this ABC TV. This is the press, the TV, is our radio, is our TV, is everything, is our communication center, where what we will give out here is something that will that strengthens us as Amazonian people. At the same time, it educates us. It do not let us slide out. We are informed, thereby building our community. We'll be coming on these things detailedly as time goes on, as I said before, and then the government of the executive has been formed, where we do not work in isolation. We work together. We work hand in hand. We dey work hand in hand with all dis other. Some pipu go say, why do we need it? Why una dey need say dis one na secretary of state for dis one, dis one na secretary of state? I tell you, any place wey e no get structure, e no fit function. If you look at even for una house, you wey you be mami or you be papa, or when una be dis small pikin, so one person be una no be just talk say na we house dis, na we house, make we just leave am, make any man just dey do im own thing. But how we will decide for say, you na you go carry water, you na you dey dry clean, you na you dey wash pan, you na you go wash pot, you na you go wash motor, you na you go carry pikin dem go leave dem for school, you na you go pick pikin dem bring dem for house. Any place wey e no get that kind structure, wey e no get who wey e go do something, you go see that it will just be katakata. It will just be a no-go area. You enter that kind house, dirty go full everywhere, because everybody go say, dem no tell me say may I do this. So for people the way that they go about saying that actually we don't really need this, we don't need that, that means say for their life, themselves they don't know how to put things in order, because everybody get timetable. I go wake up for morning time, I go do this one, I go do this one, I go do this one, so that by evening I go do this, I go fit do that before I sleep. Then you even plan self till next week, next day you get calendar. Na why that way calendar dey. We for say we don remind us. I want to remind us that in order that we have this strong foundation and this strong community of Amazonia, that we are doing our best to reach out to everyone. We're doing our best to reach out to everyone at every corner. Though we might not have reached all, we might not have fulfilling, but we are getting there, and we have reached out to as many that can really testify. So that is why I would just go out to say, like in the executive branch in this interim government that we have different departments, various departments that are taking care, responsibility in many ways. That is why we have we have we have the cabinet, which is made up of, not that these people are more than anybody, oh, but you know that when this our movement started, some people have been there, some people got it faster, and they came on board. Not that they knew anything about it, because nobody was trained, nobody went for any education on anything, how to become anything. Nobody went for anything. You and I know that. We know say we just wake up so bam. Time wey Patterson dey start dis thing, dey just dey talk am small small. Dey say dey talk am for Bamenda, dey go for Ayaba. We wan hear dey gather for Bamenda. We wan hear small time. Lawyers dey say dey wan meet up for Boya, make dey go talk dis thing fine fine. Before we wan know, dey don dey beat lawyer dem. Before we wan see, dey beat teachers dem. Before we wan see, e don reach na for Boya University campus. We wan see military don just enter, dey beat girls dem, dey drag dem inside moat. Who don forget dat picture wey dem bin drag those two small girls, wey dat university students dem wey one be wear white clothes on a Sunday day, dem moving for a hostel, dey drag e inside mud, dey drag her inside sewage. Na another poto water wey e dey comot for place wey God wan sabi. Wetin we be do? So we no go forget. So by so doing, when some people dem be dey see on YouTube, where you will see people like Pam Galanfo, how do they, Professor Ayangwe, Manga. There's that video trending on social media, how some people were planning to come together to see how they can start something. But my brothers and sisters, the saying is that if we all have the same motives to achieve the same thing, and we do not derail on the way, no matter what, at the end of the day, we will fulfill and achieve what we set out for. Na the thing wey dem dey talk say, person wey buy land, a plot of land, e no mean say na that person must roof the house wey dem go build am for that plot of land. The people dem wey we fit say dem see, like today, person like Patterson, e dey for prison. Na dem be dey for that video. If you look person wey be the former president, and Julius Ayoktabe, he no be dey for that picture, but he became the president. He dey also now for prison. You see many other people dem wey dem be dey for that picture, but as of today, dem dey speak, they are speaking another language. They don deviate from wetin wey dem begin dey talk. But notwithstanding, some people dey continue look say this was the journey Pa Ngomjua and our fathers, this is the route they took, this is the route they took, so we are continuing. So this is what has brought us into where we have this present cabinet headed by President Sako, and some members, some people that have been around, that were chosen, that have been called to say, come and take this responsibility and handle. And you see, it has not been an easy path. Ambazonian community, we get to see how far we don come. It has not been an easy path for us, whereby at the end of the day, as it was even written long ago in the interim constitution, for people wey no get that interim constitution, sometimes e don be with Dr. Ellard, our Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Diplomatic Relations, we don take out the time. I think that was in my program, my former program, The Horizon. We don take out the time, we discuss the interim constitution. And even with Director Padi of ABC, they've not discussed that interim constitution severally. So according to that original constitution of Ambazonia, they had several departments. Say when the government will be on interim until we finally get to Buea, these are the offices, these are the departments that will be functioning. I will just spell them out because many of our people, they don't, some do not know, some know, but just to refresh in our mind, you will remember that we have the Department of Self-Defense, because this department was created not because we knew that, well, we were expecting that at any time war was going to erupt or they were going to plan. But it's always good to be ready to defend yourself because you don't know when the thief was going to come in. And as a matter of fact, all we don't see am today say, if not be say we don't prepare this department, keep am, because we don make dis mistake for dat first time wen southern Cameroons be dey own. Southern Cameroons no be barely any military. Southern Cameroons be being a mobile wing. Na why dat way you be see on the 31st of September 1961, when our independence was supposed to have been concluded on the 1st of October 1961, because there were no soldiers, there were no military, and our enemy knew our weakness. That's why they came in with the armor cars, build their barracks, and settle in our country, in our communities. That's where they are till today, that we are fighting now to evict them, that they should go back to their boundaries at independence. So that is where we are today. So by that knowledge, by that sense, we can say we cannot write a constitution for the Federal Republic of Ambazonia without putting a self-defense department. And you look at it, how the thing really has brought us this far, where we have our restoration forces. These are the people who are walking on the right path, who have decided to identify with their communities. You see how we bring it all up together. They have identified themselves with their local governments, they have identified themselves with their counties, and what are we all doing? They are fighting to maintain, defend, and save homeland. And that is one major aspect that we are using to build our community. That's how we build our community. So we are appealing to everyone that calls himself out there fighting for Ambazonia. If you know that you are not yet on the right path, identify yourself with your LGA and you will see what is supposed to be done. All these small militia deceiving groups that people are manipulating you, at the end of the day, we will see you have decomposing corpse somewhere. It is not the will of the people of Ambazonia that anybody should go astray and just to be found impossible to be identified. It is not our wish, it has never been, and it will never be. The thing is that in time of war, if a soldier goes dignifyingly, good and fine, even heaven will rejoice that they fought a good fight of faith, believing in their nation, believing in their country, believing in their community, unto the extent that they were ready to shed their own blood. That is what we call community building. So that is how one of that department, self-defense department in the cabinet in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, that is one of it. Another one is the home affairs and community mobilization. Home affairs, wetin dey happen for inside una home. But severally, many of our people enjoy something wey dem dey call am say home affairs. We never, if you look and find people for Southern Cameroon since the 1961, people dey never really enjoy wetin wey dem fit call am say home affairs. Not be only since 1961, since in the days when Southern Cameroon was inside was with Nigeria, about 100 years today. If una look am very well, the people of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia have been homeless for 100 years. 40 years in Nigeria and about 60 years counting with La Republique. You people, we have not enjoyed what is called home affairs. I dey beg una say make una really hungry for dat thing wey dem dey call am say home affairs, wey you go fit waka, go for your police station, you go report your case quiet quiet, dey take your statement, if na anything dey count for the person, if na any problem dey bail the person, dey say bail is free, no be the one wey you go give money before dem go fit bail somebody. Make I no go too details into those things. I just want to let our people know the departments that we have. And when the second part of this is community mobilization. How do we mobilize our people? Structures have been laid down. We will be coming to those things to enlighten ourselves as we go on and to strengthen us for whatever thing we are doing. The other one we have is the foreign affairs and diplomatic relations. So the foreign affairs, they are doing a wonderful work because no country is in isolation. We work together with other countries so that we can fulfill and belong in the international trade, international market, international political discussion, and all those things, so that you can have countries with whom you can do bilateral relations. So all these things is a package put together where your interim government has this Department of Foreign Affairs, where we thank God we will be bringing you details from time to time and bringing you experts who will come from time to time to come and highlight, to come and educate us, to come and share with us what is really going on at the background, so that our community will know that they are not on their own, so that we will be fortified, we will be sensitized, and we will be encouraged. So there's the other one, we have our powerhouse, the National Treasury. The National Treasury, you know, all man know say no nothing no dey work. Some people dey say money makes the world go round. Ambazonia did not also forget this house when they were building their constitution. They too, they did not forget. They made sure that they put this one in their constitution. They made sure that one day people will be coming up to start building their community, because you don't just build by talking. You don't just build. You need to even though we understand how construction is going to come, when finally our nation is here, we are going to have partners, investors that will be coming. But this time around, while we are in the interim and all those things, we need a structure, a financial house that is where we can be gathering our taxes. For example, what is ongoing now in that National Treasury, a major project that is going on, you see it on Amber TV advert, the AID, the Ambazonia Independence Dues. It is something that very soon, and I propose that it should just really be enacted in the legislative house, that every Ambazonian should not think that it is by pleasure that I should do the Ambazonian Independence Due. It should really be enacted, that putting it in law, so that people start taking their civil rights and civil responsibility. Because even in the countries where we live, and even if you buy a piece of cake, a piece of thing, you pay a tax to it. In the house you are, even if it's your own home, you still pay the tax of the land, you still pay a tax of ownership, you still pay taxes for the things we do. Then why will we think that we are now building our own nation, Amazonia? Then we will be staying aloof from such a patriotic responsibility, and then we say we are fighting for Amazonia. It is something, it is your responsibility, it is my responsibility. So therefore, this our treasury, they have arms, they have it in Australia, they have in Canada, they have in Europe, they have in the Middle East, they have in the USA, and they even have a paper account, and they equally have an anonymous donor portal. So the link, the website link is there. Yes, we will be bringing it to you. This is just informative phase, so that each time you are doing something, you will know that you are not on your own. We equally have the Department of Resource Mobilization and Finance. You see the marvelous work they have been doing all through the years. If they call you for something, let's come and do lava storm, let's come and do this, let's support in this area, let's do, you know, draft, different modalities from here and there. Please, the appeal is that to build your community, you have to be flexible and work with the system, getting close to understanding the system. Why at such time? Why do we have to change? Why are things going like this? It's just part of community building, such that no one will say, why am I only paying one thing? Because there are many things that you have to be involved. So the resource mobilization, if they come knocking at your door, don't just say, why are they bothering me? It is because you are part of the community, you are part of the building, you are part of the success. And we still have the Department of Education and Strategic Planning. Some people will say, why do you people have here? Education is the key. Education is the key. Education, mainstream schooling, the curriculum. Many people say, in Anglo-Saxon education. I've held this debate severally with some people. They say, yes, Anglo-Saxon education, you have like here the Austrian school system, have the German school system, the American school system. Ambazonia is equally going to have an Ambazonia curriculum and Ambazonia school system, so that our GCE or whatsoever will not be stolen from us. We have a board that's going to work on our education and strategic planning, so that when you come out of it, you have a certificate, you will be able to compete all over the places. So, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Amazonian people dem, we still get another department, the one they call and say economy and natural resources. Una know now, Amazonia na very rich country. Under dat your foot wey you dey waka so for Amazonia, you know wetin wey dey inside. And inside the water for Amazonia, the water space and the land space is very rich. So we don already ready ourselves with dis economic and natural resources. We dey map am out. Our geologists dem, una go begin get ready very soon. Na everything go dey stay in place. I fit begin talk to some people say, una dey dream. Una dey dream. Yes, dey say if person wey e dey dream na die person wey still dey up, dey alive. If e find for the dream, dat mean she don say you need dream at all. Person wey no dream don already die, because your vision, how you do get vision if you no dream? How you do fulfill am if you no even write your vision? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a challenge as we dey build this our various community. And then another very important department, they say if you educate a girl child, you don educate a nation. And you know say this part of these people dem, dey form 51% of the whole world. We have the Department of Women's Services. This department was almost the last that was inscribed in the Amazonian community. It was introduced, it was decided and voted upon ASSC2, ASSC1 in Berlin, Germany, 2019. That was when it was adopted and accepted that it will be amongst other departments. And then during the ASSC2, then I was the deputy secretary for the women's department, which ASSC2 that was held in the United States, was in Washington DC in 2021. 2022, I beg your pardon. Yeah, so this department was inscribed in the interim constitution of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. I will not forget that historic day where I had to scream and break through, remembering the people. I said, please, this session will not close until we vote upon the Department of Women's Affairs to be inscribed in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. And if you open your new constitution today, it is amongst other constitutions, other departments. Some people may be wondering, have you not forgotten one department? I deliberately left this one department, deliberately, not because it is the least, But if you will ask me, some people are saying there's no sound. I hope there is. There is. This one department, even before the self-defense department started to be active, even became active, this has been the first active department from 2016 up to this time. And talking here, I was privileged to be one of the active moving participants to have made that department successful. That is the department, no other department than the HSS, the Health and Social Services Department of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Then, very few of us was feeding the prisoners. Then we did not have refugees. Then we did not have IDPs as of that time. That evening when they even arrested Bala that is talking another language today with um, Dr. Fontaine Neba. Then the next batch of the people that were picked up, parents and the rest, that we have so many people now. That time, that is where HSS started its work. And then it was a wonderful team that was set in place. Wonderful team. Along the line, I became the director of prisons. The food that was being sent to Dr. Nkomo Felix or Barrister or with Paneba Fontem, all of these people who are now speaking another language. It is so sad. It is so sad to sit here and remember how far we have come, but people have derailed. But the important thing that we remember is that people come and go, institutions do stay. Because as so far as we have come, that the responsibility for HSS moved from having just a handful of prisoners to thousands of prisoners that the interim government has been feeding, taking care of over the years, to IDPs, to refugees, to the wounded. It is not some story we are going to tell today. And even as I stand here, I see myself tracing back myself now, sitting back in that department as the deputy secretary for social services. So it is just as you know, we move, you move. That is that department that has been there for the people. It is still there, doing exceedingly abundantly above more than how you would demand. And I don't think that um, everyone is working, but our refugees will testify in the times where the banner of our president, together with loads and loads of food of rice, foodstuff, medical bills being handled by the HSS, and Dr. Tita has been doing a marvelous job. A marvelous job. Nobody can deny it. If you deny it, then you are not yet in the movement. I said I left the HSS last on the list because it was the first department that ever started operating, and it is still operating actively up to date. Marvelous programs will be coming up. Interesting programs and informations will be coming up from here, because from time to time we will be bringing, so it is that department that cannot survive without financial support. Because how do you pay the bills? How do you take the people to the hospitals? How do they feed? Presently, we have lists from most of the prisons sitting on our desk calling out for one or two things. How do we go about it? It is waiting all HSS. As I usually say, every Amazonian is an HSS. It's a health and social services person because either you are contributing to fulfill their demands or you are the one working, participating in the programs to see that there is a successful outcome to what is to reach out to our vulnerable people. So everyone is an HSS. We will be coming extensively, exclusively with items on HSS on this matter. I want to bless and thank every member of the HSS that has been there from day one up to this time, through your funds, through your support, and yes, let me just leave it there. And these are the communities. These are the communities that we are building in Ambazonia, because there is no way I can sit in the wine man's land and be relaxed and forget the community of prisoners, prisoners of war, prisoners of betrayers, prisoners of neglect, prisoners of being sold out, prisoners for just because they see you wearing a blue and white t-shirt and they say you are promoting something and they lock you up. They see you just having something on your phone that has to say something. They say you are supporting. They just see you talking and referring to something, you now become, everybody is a victim. So we cannot forget these vulnerable people. I still have people who are in there locked up. If you remember that famous catapult signal logo that many of us are just using today, I wonder if you have ever dropped 1 amber or 10 amber to support those boys, those men, because they have spent about 6 years, 7 years going now in prison because they held that catapult. Do you know that they are there? That is a community that we have to build. We have to have their detailed information so that later they will know that they are not left out, and we here, we equally have not forgotten them. Same with those that have gone and become slaves in the land of the oppressed, land of the oppressor, where you will work and work and work and no food to eat. We will be coming to that because we will not only be saying them, we will be educating our people equally to know that they have a place called home, and to forget about the amount of brainwashing that they are tactically trying to brainwash them. It is in this appointment or community building that we will be saying all these things within the week, over the months, as time goes on. At the same time, this vulnerable group of people, in the days of SDF, we still have some people up till today who lost their arms in those days when they used to scream people, power to the people. But do you know where the canker worm, the person who was given that staff to lead the people by saying power to the people, where it is today? This is why we say we have to build strong communities and not strong people. Because when we mistakenly build strong people, they forget the reason why they were called to take up the responsibility that was given them. They put their egos in front. They don't listen to the people. They forgot the definition of the purpose, the reasons why they set up for what they were supposed to be doing. In the same manner, our brave boys and girls genuinely picked up sticks and stones to chase the enemy out of their home. They picked up sticks and stones to chase the enemy out of the home. But what did they do? What did they do? They have they became wounded. Some their arms, their legs, they wounded some of them. If you see just that Facebook and YouTube will not allow us to show some of our page. If not, maybe some people say if we not see, we not go believe. With the thief and the flash and small small, more na begin dey see how way the thing dey happen. May not be seen only by talk wey dem dey talk. All this work fellow Amazonian friends and sympathizers, our work has progressed, but we are not yet there. With this, as a matter of fact, the departments and cabinet in Amazonia, where you have secretaries of state and you have deputy secretaries of state supporting them to carry out these responsibilities. And we have handlers on home front. We have them on ground one. We have them extended to Ghana, to all places where you have our people. It just takes a group of responsible people, determined people, genuine people to stand up genuinely for what they are fighting for. The homeland that they desperately want to call their own. Let's look at what is happening today. People in Sudan, they are stoning people, they are foreigners in their country. The other day, people in South Africa, they were stoning and shooting out people because they were foreigners in their own country. Then, this is an opportunity for us to cry out to the world that we want to let our own country become our country. We have to educate us as we should be educated. We should not forget our roots. We should not forget come from. We should not forget our community. This policy of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, the extended cabinet, when you talk of the extended cabinet, you talk of those with offices at the county and the LGA levels, because these are the people representing the state government at at, uh, at, um, at federal levels and at county levels and at the LGA levels. We therefore have our
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa with untold stories. Africa's best.